Hare Krishna to all. Please accept my humble obeisances to everyone. Vanchikalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyeva Kripa Sindhu, an ocean of mercy. Kripa Sindhu Vyeva Cha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. In our prayers to Srila Prabhupada for his presence, his blessings, and his empowerment. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvashesha Shunyavari Paskacha Deshe Tarne. Hare Krishna to everyone. Great to be with you.
Gurudev, sorry, we have to tell your pranam mantra also. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Srimati Narahari Dasa Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Srimati Bhakti Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pujarini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari.
So here in Hawaii, there's a tornado headed our way. Yes.
I thought it was a what do you call that?
Tropical storm.
Storm. Okay.
Yeah. No, but it's been upgraded or
to
downgraded. Maybe a better term would be downgraded, but upgraded to a hurricane, and it's heading our way. Anyway, I was just thinking about this hurricane coming. Nobody can do anything about it. I mean, it's scientists, they've nothing they can do. And the thoughts that were crossing my mind was, it's coming for a reason. And in fact, we see all over the world, there's all these irregularities where terrible things are happening. And but anyway, this storm's coming our way. I was just thinking how there's nothing we can do about it, and it'll come, it'll pass. And I was actually looking at the weather, like several days down the road. They're pretty good at calling the weather. It's going to be beautiful. Like in about 3 days, it's going to be gorgeous again. Calling for very mild, gentle breezes and clear skies. So it's kind of like life, things come in and everything, scatters, and then next thing you know, it's gone. And we could think about our lives, how many things have impacted our life. It's like the end of the world, right? And then, the storm passes by and it's sun's back out again. Everything is gorgeous. So that's life. Of course, it's also true in the spiritual world. There's transcendental storms come through, and lots of drama happens there as well. But it's all positive. Here, it's negative, but there, everything is positive. This is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So everything is the opposite. When things that would appear very bad here, like a storm coming, in the spiritual world, what was that storm? Was it Trinavarta? Some big storm came, and a big wind. I think it was Trinavarta. It was a demon. Like, Krishna just, he did him in, and everybody had fun. So anyway, that was my take on the storm. It's going to come, and who knows what's going to be left when it goes by, but the world goes on. Things clear up, and then it's going to happen again. And that's just the nature of existence, both material and spiritual.
Gurudev, you said an earthquake is coming? You said just now?
I didn't say an earthquake, a tornado.
Sorry, tornado.
If I said earthquake, I misspoke.
No, I was mistaken. A tornado, when is that supposed to come?
No.
I think today,
Yeah?
No,
I think it's supposed. Isn't it supposed to be hitting the Big Island?
yeah, first.
Yeah, it's going to hit the Big
Yeah,
Island.
right, but it's not a tornado. That happens on the main when it circles around with this thing. Yeah, they use another word
A hurricane.
when the hurricane comes from China, and I can't remember what it is either, but it's confusing.
Cyclone.
That's true. Yeah,
Typhoon,
cyclone.
There we go.
Yeah,
Cyclone.
yeah,
Oh.
that's right. That's right. They give it different
different
names
names.
and different. It's the same thing, but they give it a different name. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they hurricane, and this is hurricane season. So, and by the way, when I took this big exam for my Coast Guard license, one of the questions was, when is hurricane season? And it was June, July, August, and September was the correct answer. but now it's different. It's June, July, August, September, and October. So they've lengthened it. So it's Kali-yuga. Things aren't getting better; they're getting worse. Of course, the one thing that is amazing about Kali-yuga is that it's the beautiful little silver lining, and it's never been easier to practice spiritual life if one actually takes to it, because of Lord Chaitanya's very special blessings. But it's very short-lived. Doesn't last very long. I did the math on it. So Lord Chaitanya came 500 years ago, and recently someone found this audio of Prabhupada speaking. I think it was in 1969. In fact, I'm going to find it because I can read it exactly to you. It was really cool. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. I put it in here recently, so I'm just going to put all. Okay.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Take this out. Okay.
Nice to see you again.
Everything. Slide it this way. And okay. So I'm going to read. This is an interview with Srila Prabhupada, and so let's see. Oh, here we go. So Prabhupada says, so Kalki will come at the end of the Kali-yuga. Then Satya-yuga will begin. The interviewer says to Prabhupada, are there people that remain or whatever new creation begins? Prabhupada said, some will remain. It will not be completely extinguished. Some of them will remain. So he's talking about devotees. So it will not be completely extinguished. Some of them will remain. All miscreants will be killed. Out of them, there must be some pious. Interviewer, do you think of this as a historical event that will occur in the lifetime of your disciples? And Prabhupada says, so in other words, he's saying, will Kalki come, which is at the very, very end of the Kali-yuga, 427,000 years. So he's asking, what about your disciples? So I'll read that again. Do you think this as a historical event that will occur in the lifetime of your disciples? Prabhupada says, no. This will happen at least 400,000 years after. So at the time of my disciples, so at that time, my disciples will be with Krishna, and those who follow, they will, and those who do not follow will see the fun. Well, there's laughter. Prabhupada was kind of joking. They're going to see devotees are all going to be gone, but those who are around, they're going to see Kalki coming. So the interviewer says, "Will people still be chanting Hare Krishna in 400,000 years?" Prabhupada says, "No. Hare Krishna will be finished in 10,000 years. There will be no more Hare Krishna." Interviewer, "What will be left?" Prabhupada says, "Nothing. Nothing will be left. I'll kill you and you eat me, and you kill me and I eat you. That will be left." Interviewer, after 10,000 years, Prabhupada said there will be, after 10,000 years, and Prabhupada says, yes, there will be no grain, no milk, no sugar, no fruit. So I have to eat you and you have to eat me. Okay, so what this is telling us, let me come back to Zoom. What this is telling us is that in 10,000 years, it's over. Now, Kali-yuga is 32,000 years from beginning to end, 427,000 years left. So if you do the math on it, 10,000 years, and you compare that with 432,000 years of Kali-yuga, I'm getting all these texts from my people in my sailing club about the weather. If you do the math on it, it is, let me go back to look at it again. What was it? Yeah, it's less than 2.5% of Kali Yuga. 2.5%. I mean, it's not very big. It's a small amount of time that Lord Chaitanya's movement lasts. It's 10,000 years, but when you compare that to 427,000 years, it's really short. So somehow we hit that window, and I think we hit it at the best part, because we hit it right after it really took off. When Prabhupada came and his books went out, and we're all a part of it. We're all a part of that Leela. What we're doing right now, this Sangha that we're all having, coming together and churning the nectar of Krishna, this is part of Lord Chaitanya's Leela. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So my take from that is we should really, really, really be grateful that somehow we're at the right place at the right time. Okay. So we got a bunch of questions today, good ones, fun ones. So we're gonna start with Carol. I think I got these in order, but I'm not. Somehow I never get the order perfect because some come as text, some comes in the email, and it's hard to get it right. I try my best. Okay, so this is an interesting question, and Tirtha Prabhu may have some thoughts on this. I'm interested to hear what he has to say from the Christian perspective. Okay, Hare Krishna Gurudev. 3 days ago, I had the odd awareness of someone's face in my mind, as if they just popped in to say hello. It was my old chiropractor who treated me for many years. I acknowledged the memory of him and sort of wondered why he drifted into my mind, as I had not seen him for about 10 years. Interestingly, today I was looking online at the local newspaper. Lo and behold, there he was. It was Dr. Roberts, his name and picture in the obituaries. Interestingly, he paid me a visit posthumously. This type of thing has happened throughout my life, like an ethereal connection to those transmigrating. Your thoughts are always welcome. Well, it isn't talked about so much in our scriptures. I mean, generally, we talk more about what normally happens when someone leaves the world. And I'm talking about regular people now, not the devotees. But when the normal person leaves the world, it's described pretty graphically how their soul, they're attached to their body, and because of that attachment, the Yamadutas come. Carol, you know who the Yamadutas are?
My head. I don't.
No, that's planned music.
Yeah.
That adds drama. The scream. The Yamadutas are scary little guys. They're not very nice looking either. And they come and they take the soul from the body, and the soul is basically taken to the court of Yamaraj, who's the king of death, and then they get their directed for their good and bad karma. So and that person that is taken, the personality is rapidly changing. In other words, the identity, just as much as when we're leaving this body, we've identified with the body, we begin to realize, yeah, I'm not the body, I'm the soul, and the whole different state of consciousness takes place. So that's normally what happens. But we do have examples of great personalities making appearances. Tirtha Prabhu can tell us about Jesus. When Jesus left the world, he once again appeared to his disciples, and Tirtha Prabhu can speak about that. And Prabhupada mentioned that after his guru had left, I guess it was, I don't know how long thereafter, it could have been years, where Bhakti Siddhanta came to him on several occasions in the dream and encouraged him to go to the Western world. So that example is there. So I can't say anything real authoritatively about in Carol's case where her chiropractor appeared, and he maybe so, I don't know, but it isn't so much talked about in our scriptures that once somebody goes, they go. But great personalities can appear. And so, Tirtha Prabhu, what are your
that's an interesting question. Thanks, Carol. In the Christian scriptures, Moses and Elijah appeared talking to Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration, and they had passed hundreds of years before that. Saul spoke to Samuel, who had passed before that, in the Hebrew scriptures. So there is some precedent for that. Again, those are people who were really close to God, people who were close devotees, if you will, of God. And in the book of Hebrews, in the Christian scriptures, chapter 12, it says we are surrounded by a cloud of great witnesses. There's a cloud of great witnesses, it says, of those who have believed, who have followed the faith. And those people are basically surrounding us and urging us on, that we're not in this alone in the Christian scriptures. And just from personal experience, Carol, I have experienced that too. I've done hundreds of funerals, and it's not something I necessarily talk about a lot, but in the early days, I would kind of resist it, fight it, but there would be many, many times where I would do someone's funeral where they would come to me. They would come to me before the funeral. It wasn't like I was seeking them, but they would come to me and talk with me. And only in one of those cases was someone in tremendous anger and agony. But usually it's quite peaceful. So yeah, I find it to be an interesting topic, and I think sometimes we think that the veil, the curtain between this life and the next is so thick, but having been with hundreds of people as they were dying or when they died or right after they died, I have been able to see and experience things, and maybe Malati Mataji also in nursing. I've been able to sense when someone's spirit leaves. And it's not always when you think, but so it's a real interesting question. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, but the scriptures that we have in Prabhupada's teachings in our Gaudiya line, the only examples we really have are, another one that comes to mind is Narahari Dasa. He was a great devotee, but he had a fall down and he drowned himself in the I guess it was in I don't know if it was the Ganges or the Jamuna, but he drowned himself. And then but then he appeared later dancing and singing for Lord Chaitanya. So, but these are great special personalities that we know about. But regular ordinary people, there's no mention of that in our scripture. Our scriptures say they get taken off, they leave this body, and their karma is awaiting them. So that's all I can say in that regard. So hope that helps. Okay. Next, we have Radha has a question. What are the most overlooked yet important qualities of a Vaishnava? I'll repeat that. What are the most often overlooked yet important qualities of a Vaishnava? So I think we have to start answering that question by defining Vaishnava. And my understanding, and again, Tirtha Prabhu could be helpful in this regard, Vaishnavas aren't just Hare Krishnas. A Vaishnava, well, there's a beautiful verse in the very, very beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam where Sutta Goswami, who was the speaker at Naimisharanya, who basically spoke the Bhagavatam, he said, real important verse, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yadhobhaktir hoksaje ahaituki apratiyatadya atma suprasidati. He is defining what is real religion. And real religion is one who is surrendering their heart and soul to God without a haituki apratiyata. That means that they're not looking for something. it's causeless. It's love. They're just serving out of love with no desire. They want to serve with love. That's their goal. They may not have the love, but they want to give up everything material and surrender their heart and soul to God. Now we definitely know Christianity. That's what Christ is all about. And again, Tirtha Prabhu can speak about that. That's my understanding from all I've learned from Tirtha Prabhu is it, and all the acharyas in our line, they all say Jesus was an empowered incarnation of God. He was, completely empowered in all of his teachings. It was detach yourself from this world and attach yourself to God. Don't look for your treasure in this world. You'll never find it. So it's not limited to our Vaishnavas. And so I know, not just know philosophically, I can feel in my heart, I've got Jesus on my altar, that that's real. Those who truly, perfectly follow Jesus. In other traditions, I don't know enough about. Tirtha has a much broader understanding of different religions. I could bring up, for example, Buddhism, as we've understood Buddhism from Prabhupada. The Buddhist, at least the original Buddhist, what Buddha taught, was voidism. It was basically an atheistic religion. It was that we, the material worlds, we agree we're not the body, birth and death, old age and disease, karma, that's all there. But they just want to end it all because, I even I would think myself, if there's no such thing as Krishna, would I want to be born over and over and over in this world of birth and death and birth and death? I'd rather just not exist than live in this world of, just constant suffering. So they want out. Whereas a Vaishnava, their goal is love of God. And I've heard Tirtha Prabhu, when he can speak on this, he's mentioned the Sufis, that there may be some Vaishnavism there. But Tirtha Prabhu, why don't you help me out here?
Okay. Yeah, Sufis from Islam very much chant the names of God. They're in Arabic, but they chant names of God, and they do that very faithfully. And their whole goal is to love God perfectly. That's their whole goal, is to love God perfectly, which is the same as what we have, Krishna Prem, wanting that pure love of God. And I was thinking about other traditions, and there's a lot of different types of Christianity. In most of them, the highest level is considered, like what Gurudev said, loving God without expecting anything in return. Now, it's real prominent in Christianity to think, oh, I love God so I can go to heaven. And it's like, I was talking with someone recently about loving God without expecting anything in return. And he kind of reflected on it. And he said, you're right. My relationship with God has been very transactional.
Mm.
I say I love God, but it's so I can get something.
Prabhupada calls it doing business.
Right. And
Doing
so,
business with God.
right. So, in Christianity, really, when you get to the teachings of Jesus, it's about loving God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. So it's really about loving without expecting anything in return, even though there's so many promises. It's about fully loving God. So humility and surrender and constantly wanting to serve, those are all in Christianity. And we can certainly see those hallmarks of what was mentioned, like the 9 characteristics or the 9 paths of devotion of maybe you're familiar with those. Radha, the 9 paths. But yeah,
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atman Nivedanam. Hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. They're the most important 3: hearing, chanting, and remembering.
I really like the last one, surrendering.
So that's giving totally surrendering everything. Total surrender.
And that's what Jesus often talked about. So, yeah.
Okay. So just to further respond to Radha's, her question, we went a little off topic, but I think it's important. I just wanted to say, when we're talking Vaishnavas, it doesn't mean you have to be a Hare Krishna with your bead bag and your japa beads in hand. It's anyone who's genuinely seeking God without transaction. Of course, even sometimes in the Vedic scriptures, it's mentioned, well, better to seek God with the transaction, with the possibility that eventually you may become purified by even doing business with God. It's at least a start. But in our Vaishnava tradition, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we leave that back in the Vedas. Krishna told Arjuna, forget the Vedas. We're going to the second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai Pumsam Paro, Dharma Projitakaita Paramo Nirmatsaranam Sitam. So the Srimad Bhagavatam it's like the cream of all spiritual knowledge, all Vedic knowledge. And it starts, no transaction with God. Projita Kaitava. Projita means to kick out anything that's transactional. In our line, we're going for pure love of Krishna. We're not interested in doing any transactions. We just want to surrender our hearts and souls. Okay, so just a couple things that crossed my mind. One is, because she's asking about what are some of the things we might miss. One is that a devotee, a real Vaishnavas, and maybe we should even say, there's like, let's notch it up to an advanced Vaishnava. So we're neophytes, but an advanced Vaishnava, especially. We're moving along, but an advanced Vaishnava is like a desire tree, and they can give you whatever you want. Now, the idea is that when they give you Krishna, every desire you ever had is fulfilled. One taste of Krishna, you're completely satisfied. So just as a desire tree, you can get anything you want from the tree. From a devotee, when you get Krishna, you get everything. You couldn't even imagine how much we're getting when we get Krishna, because everything's included in Krishna. Krishna's a reservoir of all pleasure. And when we connect to Krishna, we just have no desire other than a madness to want to serve him, because we love him so much. And so a Vaishnava can give you what nobody else can. They can give you they can fulfill every desire. That's why we say, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyastra. The devotees they're like desire trees. We're giving Krishna. Okay, and some other things that crossed my mind, I jotted down here. Oh, that non-Vaishnavas, non-devotees, many of them have really good qualities. I mean, really good qualities. They're super generous or doing things for others. But there's a really interesting verse, and this is Prahlad, and his associates were speaking. So there's a verse, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati kinchana sarvagunas tatra samasate sura, which means that a devotee develops all good qualities. Harav abhaktasya. But an abhakta, one who's not a devotee, kuto mahadguna, that means they have no good qualities. Matonante rasati davato bihi. In other words, they may have, to have a good quality in this definition, is it something that you actually have? You're coming from your heart. But a non-devotee, though they may have good qualities, it's just like the wind. Sometimes the weather's good, sometimes the weather's lousy. In their next life, they're not qualities that they really coming from their heart. In other words, they could be a saint in this life, and they could be a big sinner in the next life. So even though we see great qualities in people, sooner or later the modes of nature will come and change it all. It'll wash away. They're not real. It's like if you put on a woman, makes her face really pretty with what's it called? Makeup. Yeah. But she takes her shower. It's all it just goes down the drain. So I think I've seen this. You see these beautiful, beautiful movie stars, and then you see this picture you don't even recognize. It doesn't have all the makeup on and stuff. It's like been washed off. And it's like, is that really that beautiful movie star? It's like it just washed off. So in that same way, the point is being made that people may have lots and lots and lots of good qualities, but if it's not connected to Krishna, it's just the modes of nature. It's just makeup, and it'll wash off in the next life. They'll become, they'll change. And a few other things that I sort of jotted down here. That real Vaishnavas have genuine humility. I mean, real, genuine humility. And humility doesn't mean you think less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. Did everybody catch that?
Mm-hmm.
It's not thinking less of yourself. I mean, we can be, happy with what we're doing, but we're actually thinking of ourselves less. And the other thing about a Vaishnava, though they're full of good qualities, they acknowledge that it's all being handed down to him or her. And yeah, that we realize it's all mercy. It's just mercy that's coming. We take absolutely no credit at all. We give all credit to Guru and Krishna. And we're just very, very fortunate. And the Vaishnava wants to share that fortune with others. It's like you want to share it. So those are some things in that regard. Does that help?
Yes, Gurudev. Thank you so much.
Okay. And the other thing is that Vaishnavas don't have any enemies. Never see anyone as an enemy. And all we see is good in others. We don't see the bad. Kirtan Prabhu, what are some of the things about the splinter in the eye? What's that?
Right. Yeah, there's a parable that Jesus told about people who are complaining or trying to remove someone else's faults. And he said, why are you trying to remove the splinter in someone's eye when you have a log, a plank in your eye? Hyperbole,
Yeah. Yeah. So a Vaishnava, we really don't. We're humble. We see our weaknesses, but we don't look for those in others. We just want to see the good in them and want to share our fortune. Okay, we'll move on. Who was this? Oh, we go to this page here. This is Parampara. Hare Krishna, Gurudev. My question for today. Surrendering is a gradual process, but how do we know our exact level of surrender? And how do we deepen the surrender? I like the question. Surrender is a gradual process, but how do we know our exact level of surrender? And how do we deepen the surrender? Well, I don't think there's any exact measurement, because I think surrender is an eternal process. that Krishna's expanding, we're surrendering more, and I don't think it ever it never ends. But the way to judge that we are surrendering, going deeper, is that we genuinely are becoming detached from anything that is not, doesn't foster Krishna consciousness. And those all the things in this world as a young kid, I thought I'm really going to enjoy the world. I'm going to go to med school, and I'm going to, it's like a playground. But it's like when one becomes, older, let's say, he may not be so interested in the things he did as a child. When we start genuinely becoming attached from trying to enjoy this world, again, like Jesus said, don't look for your treasures in this world; you'll never find them. All the gloss, all the glitter starts to wear off, and that is a really good sign of that we're advancing. Don't you see the world, Parampara Prabhu, really differently than when we first met?
Yes, Gurudev.
Yeah, it's not. It loses. We're losing it, but it can't just be that. But we're simultaneously becoming attached to Guru and Krishna.
Right.
We're becoming, because we can't give up attachment. That's the nature of the soul. The soul is all about attachment. That's normal because the soul is completely attached to Krishna. So when we leave Krishna, we become attached to something else. We become attached to Maya. But all Maya does is beat us up, so we go back and become attached again to Krishna. So when we're becoming really attached to we develop a real taste for hearing Hari Katha. Don't you love coming to these sessions where we all get together and we spin and talk about Krishna? Isn't this nectar? I mean, I'm sure enjoying it. We're developing other real attachments, and etc. So that's how. But we can, I don't see how we can put like a level on it. I never feel that I'm detached enough or I'm advanced enough. I'm always working to go more and more and more and more. But I can definitely look back and say, I'm definitely not the same person I was before I met Prabhupada. And I can say that it keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. I still don't feel I got a long way to go in my surrender, but it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. Don't you experience that, Parampara?
Yes, Gurudev. Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's, and then we have Gopal. What daily habits increase goodness without making me proud of being spiritual? Well, as we just mentioned, what habits increase goodness? Well, most important is hearing and chanting. Chanting your japa, chanting your rounds, and hearing about Krishna. And we want to remain humble by realizing that whatever advancement we are making is they're actually gifts of Krishna and Guru. Basically, when we're chanting and we're hearing, we are pleasing Guru, pleasing Krishna, and then the gifts come. We should never think that it is. Actually, I had a wonderful conversation yesterday with Radha. I think we were just texting about how it is a descending process that by our Krishna seeing our chanting, Prabhupada seeing us all coming together and stirring this nectar and making the nectar sweet, it's all actually coming. We don't take any credit. We don't. I don't think it's a good idea to compare ourselves to others. I think better we think, well, I'm more fortunate than others. If we see somebody who's material attached and a mess, we don't like to think, well, I'm better than them. Better to think I'm more fortunate, and how can I make them fortunate? How can I share my good fortune with them? But pride comes in when we start thinking I'm better than them. We're just more fortunate. We're really fortunate. Does that help? Okay. And are we at last but not least? Sukata? Okay. Sukata is asking, Hare Krishna Gurudev, humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and you, Gurudev. My question for the week is, what does it mean in practice to be a witness of the gunas rather than to identify with them? I'll repeat that. What does it mean in practice to be a witness of the gunas rather than identify with them? So for clarification, when we're covered, when we leave the spiritual world and we become covered by Maya, we're completely controlled by the modes of nature. The modes of goodness, passion, ignorance, we're like immersed in them, and therefore we identify with them. If we feel lazy, just really lazy and bummed out, it's a mode of ignorance, but we identify with it. We think that's me. I'm angry. I'm lazy. I just want to just drink and and escape life. Mode of ignorance. Mode of passion, we become very, very enthusiastic to think I can enjoy this world, and so on. I'm going to be a mom. I'm going to have children. You'll become very enthusiastic that this world is going to make me happy. That's the mode of passion. And the mode of goodness, we're feeling very peaceful. We're not detached. We don't have attachment to Krishna, but we're at least detached from trying to enjoy this world, and it's a great sense of peace. I almost think of that when I visited the monks in the Buddhist monks. They're really detached, and you can see they're just so much in the mode of goodness, not pure goodness, but they're even in material goodness. They're just detached. They're seeing the craziness of the world. They don't want to get involved in it because they know it's just going to mess with themselves. So my take on the gunas, first of all, when we start surrendering our life to Krishna, then there's a verse in the Gita, Mamchiyo Vyabhicharina Bhakti Yogasena Cave, Sagunam Samatichaitam Brahma Boyaya Kalpate, that when we begin practicing devotional service, Bhakti Yogena Sevate, Seva, service, Bhakti, service to Krishna, Sagunan Samatichaitam, the gunas, Sagunan Samatichaitam, we transcend them, we rise above them, Brahma Boyaya Kalpate. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't see the gunas. it's like, for example, we have the storm coming through. It's just like the gunas going. I just see them as like the gunas going by. But what we can do with the modes of nature is, I like to use the term harvest. We can harness them. Like, for example, we know that the mode of goodness is very prominent when? What time of the day is the mode of goodness prominent? Who can say? Anyone?
Morning time
Morning
or
time.
Brahma Murta.
Brahma Murta,
Morning.
yeah. The morning, the mode of goodness is, and for me, it's the best time to chant. So I get up like clockwork early in the morning, and I chant on my rounds because it's so easy. People say, Narahari, you're up at 2:30 every morning. It's amazing. No, because I'm lazy. I get up early because I don't want to go uphill. I don't want to ride my bicycle uphill. I like going downhill. And in the morning, just like I was up this morning, you chanted it's just so easy. In the afternoon, I find it very difficult. So I harness that mode of goodness. I use it in Krishna's service. I'm harnessing it. It's not pushing me. I'm riding it. And in the afternoon, it's a really good time to get things done. Right? The sun is up. The mode of passion is prominent. So it doesn't mean that I'm being contaminated by the mode of passion. I use that mode of passion. I can fix things, do this, clean the house, all the things, I go shopping, the things I need to do to get done during the day. And then at night, the mode of ignorance comes. It's a great time to sleep. So I harness that. When the sun goes down, it's getting dark, I go to bed. And then I go to bed early enough that I can get up early. And so anyway, but we don't identify with those modes of nature. It isn't us. If you feel anger, remember, our soul is pure. Our soul is totally untouched by the modes of nature. So we transcend them. And what was your exact question? What does it mean to practice, to be witness? Yeah, we're witnessing. I can witness in the morning the mode of goodness. In the afternoon, I can go out for a kayak ride or whatever. I can feel the modes of nature. I witness them, but I don't identify with them. I don't let them control me. I use them in Krishna service, and then we become transcendental to them. They're there. Nothing you can do about it. We're in the material world, just like, if it's cold out, you just put a jacket on. You don't stay out there and freeze, right? You put a jacket on and you can enjoy going out in the cold. Or if it's warm, you put on thin clothes. The other day I was studying, and there's no air conditioning where I live. We don't really need it, but it's quite warm and humid, which I love. But I took my t-shirt off, bare shirt, and just studying, preparing for classes, this, that, and the other, memorizing verses, and so we don't become contaminated by them. Okay.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Did I miss anybody's question? Oh, wait a minute. No, Willow, didn't you sent me some questions? I missed those. Let's
Yes.
do Willow. Willow always has great questions. Fire away. I'm sorry. I missed them.
Do you want me to read you the text I sent?
Please.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, my first question. As I begin my spiritual journey, how can I grow closer and build a deep personal connection with Srila Prabhupada?
That's a great question, and it's a very, very important one. Prabhupada is your, in my opinion, like a foundational guru. You have a relationship with him. He is alive. He's alive. He's living. He's in his books, and he's also coming through your guru to you. And I just ordered for you as a birthday present, because yesterday was your birthday, right? 2 days ago? Yeah. So I ordered the whole set of Lilamrita for you.
Thank you.
And and just by reading and hearing about Prabhupada, it will, you'll become very attached. And also realize anything that you're getting from me, it's all coming from Prabhupada. So if you just like if Rukmini, well, you probably don't know yet who Rukmini is. She's great. She was in the heavenly planets. She was like a princess, and she didn't know Krishna, but she heard about him from great saintly people were talking about Krishna, and she fell in love with him. Just hearing about him, she fell in love, and she sent him a message and to come and get me out of here. They want to marry me to some creep. I want to marry you. And Krishna came, he stole her away. It's a whole wonderful story. So just by hearing about Prabhupada, you'll feel him in your heart. So and by the way, as far as I'm concerned, for my students, it's like mandatory reading is the Prabhupada Lilamrita. How many people have read the Lilamrita? Yeah, everyone should. I get them at a really good price. So anybody that wants a Lilamrita, I highly, highly, highly recommend you get that connection with Prabhupada, and you'll get it. And it's very, very authoritatively written. Okay.
I have one more question before we go, if that's okay.
Right. Yeah, you have one more.
I cannot pronounce the name correctly, but to offer like the food to the Lord Krishna.
Oh yeah, prasadam.
Yes. So prasadam, is there a relatively simple way to go about that?
Really simple. Really, Krishna doesn't care. Krishna's not so big on rituals. All he wants is the heart. So it could be this simple. Did you tell me you have little deities? Okay. So you've got by the way, you and I can speak more about this, but if you could dedicate one plate for Krishna that you use to put the food on, if you don't have that, you can use a paper plate or just wash a plate. In the beginning, it doesn't matter. But Krishna's, you're going to cook your food, and you're going to think, well, I'm going to be offering this to Krishna. I want Krishna. And Krishna, by the way, Krishna if he knows you're cooking for him, even if you're not a good cook, if he knows you're cooking for him, and there's bhakti in it, he wants it. I mean, he's like salivating. He's relishing. Wow, he's going to offer that to me. So he's excited, and you just put it on the plate, and you can, in very, very simple language. I have a quote from Prabhupada, by the way. He says, "No need for fancy mantra. Just, my dear Lord, please. I don't have a lot of humility. I don't have a lot of devotion, but please, I beg you to accept my humble offering." And then I would recommend 3 times, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just recently, I took my professor friend and his wife out. We're sailing buddies. We went out sailing this beautiful, beautiful park, and and they cooked a real nice vegetarian meal. And so we put it. They know we're going to offer it. They like it. So we're sitting at a picnic table outside on the beach, and it's going like this. I go, Hare Krishna, and they repeat, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, and we're all banging on the picnic table together, and it's just that simple. And we do it 3 times. So it's actually 6 because I'm saying it, then they're repeating Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and they we're like they're into it, and Krishna's loving it, and it's definitely prasadam. So they don't worry about fancy mantras and spoons and achmans, and just offer to Krishna, and you and I can talk on more detail, but that's. And believe me, because I did it. My girlfriend and I, before when we just becoming a devotee, we would offer the food, just real simple. We were living in a truck, a real nice fixed up truck van. We had a stove, a little propane stove. We had a propane refrigerator. It's quite nice, and she was a really good cook. And so we cook up stuff, and then I literally would feel intoxicated. I had a long beard, and at that time, and we were starting to chant rounds, and I could definitely tell it was intoxicating. It had Krishna had enjoyed it, and it was wonderful. Okay, so we're at the top of our hour. Thank you all so much. Well, I got one other thing. One thing I got to tell everybody. So Gopal and Sukada have been making a YouTube channel for all of our sanghas, and that Gopal, they'll just type in
Bhakti Prema Yoga.
yeah, just write this down. Bhakti Yoga
Prema.
Bhakti Yoga Prema. And if you do a search, if you go and do a search for Bhakti Yoga Prema, it's going to bring up our new YouTube channel. And what's really important, what you got to do when you go to that channel, the first thing you got to do is subscribe. There's a button you hit to subscribe. So you subscribe, and then you look at some of the videos. They're really cool, and like them. You got to give them a like. Everybody know they've seen the like button, and you want to share this with others. You want to get others to go to our YouTube channel and Bhakti Yoga Prema. It'll take them right there. Subscribe. Then it's going to come to them regularly. It'll keep showing up when you go to YouTube. And so you want to get them to like it, and gradually more and more people will come and they'll hear our sanghas. So I'm real excited about it. So they're working hard at that, and we're going back and we're going to capture all of we have hundreds of them. We're going to get them all. No, we've been recording them. I'm not exaggerating when I say hundreds. I don't know about many hundreds, but there's a couple of hundred, I'm thinking. So and they're going to keep, and the new ones, each time we get one, once we get caught up, I'm just going to slide it up there. And Sukha is actually taking care of getting them up there and adding the titles and so on. So this is pretty exciting. We want to share this with the world. We want to share it with the world. So we want to take these wonderful questions and answers that we've been sharing together, this kata, and put it out there. So where do we go? Carol, what is it? What is the 3 words?
Sorry, I've got the little ones here. What was that?
What are the 3 words? Or anybody, what are the 3 words that we're going to
Bhakti
type?
Yoga Prema.
Bhakti Yoga Prema. And if you forget to,
yeah.
if you
Sorry.
forget text, just write it. Everybody write it down. Make sure you write it
Gurudev,
down.
Gurudev,
Yes.
I've dropped the link in the chat, so you can just click on that chat's link. That will take you to the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
And
What's
Gopal
in the
Prabhu,
chat?
can you also put in the Gurudev's the WhatsApp group?
I
Yeah.
have
Okay.
dropped in the link like a month back, I guess. I can do it again.
Yeah, maybe we have to do that like every occasional day. That way, everybody gets subscribed.
Okay. Yeah. So we have the link, and we want everybody to go there, Bhakti Yoga Prema, and go there, visit it. Definitely subscribe to it. Subscribe, and then look back at some of these. I mean, they're pretty far out. They're super Krishnized, and like them. Give them a like, and we want to share this with everyone, don't we? We don't want to just keep it to us. We want to share it with the world, and people all over the world connect to YouTube, isn't it?
Yes.
I think YouTube is like the biggest, other than maybe Google, like a Google search. I think the second biggest thing is YouTube. Everybody goes to YouTube. I had to replace a handle on my truck, and it was almost impossible to figure out how to get the handle off. So as you go to YouTube, and 2009 Toyota truck, how to remove the handle, and there it was, where you find all the little screws that you'd never know where they were, and boom, fixed. I had a problem with my toilet, and it was quite complicated to fix it. So I went to YouTube, and they said, no, there's an easy way. There's a workaround to fix it. And boom, I had it fixed in no time. So everybody goes to YouTube. Anything you want to learn about, it's there on YouTube. Okay. So
Awesome.
thank you all very much.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol. See everybody next time. Srila Prabhupada
Hare Krishna.
Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Bye.